Hello and a very warm welcome to everybody joining us for another installment of Inside SA Media, proudly brought to you by Tribox Media and Factfort. My name is Lungiswenya Kyowa Onachia. Very thrilled to be doing this with you one more time. We live in an age where anyone can publish and everyone is a potential target. And of course, falsehoods travel faster than facts, especially when those falsehoods are wrapped in headlines and hashtags. But when lies go viral and the truth struggles to keep up, who pays the price? In today's episode, we look at the rise of disinformation, how false narratives are shaping what South Africans believe, what they fear, and most importantly, what they fight for. Now, disinformation is deliberate. That is the first thing we need to understand about what it is. It is the strategic spread of falsehoods. These are often to manipulate opinions, to incite fear, or to influence really important events like elections. But it's of course not the only form of information pollution. We also have misinformation, which is false information that is shared unknowingly. So there isn't like a malicious intent behind that. And then you have something called malinformation, which is factual, but it is shared with harmful intent. Now, all of these distortions have been used for decades. In apartheid South Africa, for instance, state agencies ran disinformation campaigns to smear anti-apartheid activists, to discredit journalists, and of course, to control public perception.
Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, the founder of the Inkatha Freedom Party, the IFP, visited the US several times prior to 1994, before South Africa became a democracy. It turns out his visits may have been used by apartheid South Africa's disinformation network, known as Stratcom, to create international antagonism towards the African National Congress, the ANC, which was on the verge of becoming the first ruling party of the democratic country. Under apartheid, Stratcom agents aimed to deliver the anti-ANC message directly to the White House, highlighting how similar tactics may still be at play in today's political landscape.
More recently, we saw how disinformation flourished during the COVID-19 pandemic. From garlic cures to vaccine conspiracies, and of course during the July 2021 unrest, when voice notes on WhatsApp spread chaos, false truth movements, and inflammatory claims. The thing that is very important to keep in mind about disinformation is that it thrives when there's a gap in trust. Now that gap can be a gap in trust in the media, a gap in trust in government, and of course, most important one, a gap in trust with each other.
A News 24 report has uncovered a coordinated campaign linked to a digital marketing agency in India that's behind more than 80 fake news stories about South Africa.
All right, make an informed choice in the voting booth. So says the Electoral Commission, who, with Media Monitoring Africa, have joined hands with major social media platforms to fight the scourge of disinformation.
South African news consumers are increasingly concerned about misinformation and the spread of fake news. According to the 2024 Reuters Digital News Report, concern about misinformation increased by 6 percentage points in the past year and is now at 81%.
Disinformation campaigns have been traced to political actors, to marketing firms, and to foreign influence operations. In 2016, the Bell Pottinger scandal revealed how racial divisions were weaponized online to distract from an important event, state capture. The firm helped to create the white monopoly capital narrative to manipulate public anger. In 2021, the Electoral Commission flagged coordinated online efforts that were targeting young voters, including false claims about voter registration deadlines and, of course, polling day confusion. Even outside of politics, disinformation has been used to push agendas. I am talking from dodgy miracle cures that are sold through Facebook to false kidnapping alerts that caused major public panic. Now, what we see are often networks, right? Fake accounts that are acting in sync to amplify false narratives. It's not one person in a room. No, this is industrial. Disinformation isn't just annoying, it is incredibly dangerous. In 2008, and again in 2015 and 2019, xenophobic attacks in South Africa were partly fueled by false messages claiming immigrants were taking over jobs or involved in crime rings, and so forth on. And in 2020, a fake WhatsApp voice note was warning of a national lockdown that caused major panic buying in South Africa before government announcements were even made. And of course, during the 2021 unrest in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, disinformation played a direct role. Fabricated audio clips and WhatsApp broadcasts exaggerated events. They claimed sabotage and inflamed tensions. Ultimately, this contributed to the loss of over 300 lives.
Around 2.2 million foreign nationals live in South Africa, many from neighbouring Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Lesotho. But behind that official number is a population that may be impossible to count. It's made up of people living illegally in the country, and South Africa's Statistics Bureau estimates it could be anything between 500,000 and a million. And it's tension around their presence in the country that's thought to be partly behind the outbreak of violence. Some have claimed that migrants are taking work from local people by accepting lower pay. However, research by the World Bank suggests that foreign nationals are far more likely to start their own businesses.
Minister Ebrahim Patel has urged consumers to stop panic buying. He says the newly implemented port closures are only meant to limit the movement of individuals and won't have a negative impact on the import of goods into the country. Yesterday, thousands of shoppers descended on shops, clearing the shelves of food, multivitamin supplements, as well as cleaning products such as hand sanitizers.
We are not helpless. A growing movement is rising to fight the flood. Organizations like Africa Check, Real 411, and the IJR are verifying claims and pushing platforms to act. Real 411 lets South Africans report digital disinformation and get fast responses. We also have community educators who are stepping in. They're running workshops to teach people how to spot fake news, how to check their sources, and very importantly, how to think critically about what they read and what they share. Now, we don't just need fact checkers. We need a culture of critical thinking. And that culture of critical thinking, we need it more especially at school level and in rural communities. In the age of disinformation, truth needs defenders. And those defenders are all of us. It's me and you. Disinformation wants you to react. Misinformation wants you to trust just a little bit too quickly. But information literacy gives you the power to pause, to learn the tools, to ask the questions, and to never forward anything before you verify it. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed it and learned something, and that this will help you to remember how to engage with information, especially online and on social media platforms. Until next time, from myself, Lungi Sonyankowa on a chair, it's goodbye.